Missouri's Michael Sam, the SEC Defensive Player of the Year and the first openly gay player in the NFL, was the 249th pick in that draft. St. Louis finally took him in the 7th round, the 249th player taken in a 256-player draft. And when Sam was seen celebrating with his family and boyfriend, the world apparently shook. We almost collided with the sun, and yet somehow we have survived another day.
Many congratulated Sam on the announcement, from President Obama to Sam's fellow athletes.
The personal story segment tonight, the war on traditional values. This fall, the Home and Garden TV network was scheduled to debut Flip It Forward, a show starring twin brothers Jason and David Benham, who turned fixer-uppers into dream homes. But after a far-left blog highlighted some anti-gay marriage and pro-life comments they made, including a rally they organized, liberal activists demanded the network pull the plug on the show.
There's a difference between gay community and the gay agenda. The agenda that we're dealing with in America right now is an environment whereby it seeks to silence those that disagree with it. And it begins with Christians, those that would hold to biblical values.
To be packed by same-sex couples tomorrow.
That's right, Mike. The city-county building was closed today, which means tomorrow morning will be the first opportunity that same-sex couples have to come here and apply for a marriage license. And we met many couples tonight at the rally in Shadyside, and a lot of them plan to do just that. It's a decision Pennsylvania has never seen before.
It's just exciting to be able to marry the one you love.
Celebrating on Ellsworth Avenue in Shadyside, along with hundreds of others, is the Whitewood family of Bridgeville. They're plaintiffs in today's historic case. Openly Gay Council President Bruce Krause told the crowd to rock the marriage license counter the next few days. He also mentioned he's single. Then he put Councilman Corey O'Connor on the spot. The real proposal came later.
Because of the day and because of the location, I thought this would be a good time to ask Steve a question. Will you marry me?
Closer to home has become one of the most controversial items in Annapolis this year, and today Governor O'Malley signed the Fairness for All Marylanders Act into law.
One of the more controversial bills this past session dealt with transgender rights. Governor O'Malley signed that bill into law today during his last bill signing as governor. The new law makes it illegal to discriminate against transgender people involving employment, housing, or public accommodations like public bathroom use.
We are closer today to creating that open, respectful, inclusive world that we want for all of our children.
Drag queen Conchita Wurst took the trophy for Austria. This is a very big deal. The diva won with the tune Rise Like a Phoenix.
What is going on here? Because I saw this picture and I want you to explain.
Okay, so this year's Eurovision winner has people tweeting, performing in a skin-tight dress with long hair and a full beard. Conchita Wurst has become Austria's first Eurovision winner since 1966. Miss Wurst's onstage drag persona was created by a 25-year-old singer named Thomas Newart. Conchita won the contest with a song titled Rise Like a Phoenix.
Congratulations, Conchita. Do you have any words at all?
I do. This night is dedicated to everyone who believes in a future of peace and freedom. You know who you are. We are unity and we are unstoppable.
Is it just me, or between Conchita and Michael Sam, did the whole world feel like it became a better place to live in the last 24 hours?
Besides that, you know, I'm a member of the gay community and our stories are similar. Over the years, I tried to fit in and I changed myself in every way you can imagine. I just wanted to be part of the game. And then I realized, well, I create the game.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Well, we've all seen those cutely creepy little garden gnomes.
Yeah, they stand guard on the lawns everywhere. But listen to this. The other day, a woman dropped her gnome on the sidewalk. It broke. What was inside is now front page news in Giles County.
Heather Andrews has a friend who always gives her garden gnomes. It's a gag between them. But this time, this gnome was carrying a gag of its own.
I opened the door and it dropped, fell. I went to pick up the pieces and I noticed something inside of it.
Take a look for yourself. There appears to be a statue inside the gnome that was formed at the time of the making of the gnome. It's fused to the top and to the bottom.
I think that the face has really intricate detail and someone spent a lot of time on the face. The anatomy on the body looks feminine to me, but I don't know, I'm just biased to it, I guess.
Some people say it's the head of Jesus on a woman's body, or maybe it's an angel. Do you see it? Take a look at this angle. How about this angle?
I just want to know where it came from, why they put it in there. A lot of people are scared of it, like just creeped out by the idea.
A nice little mystery, isn't it? Who would go to the trouble of creating a statue that, barring catastrophe, no one would ever see?
During an event honoring the 223rd anniversary of Poland's constitution last night, Defense Secretary Chuck Hagel said we are seeing a new 21st century world order being built, and although there are conflicts and complications, there's still hope.
I think what's more hopeful, and maybe than any other time in the history of the world, is that we have more opportunities and more possibilities.
You may have seen the impossible performance last night. Michael Jackson at the Billboard Music Awards nearly 5 years after his death. Well, we were told it was not a hologram, not an impersonator, so we set out to learn more.
A live performance by a dead celebrity. Last night at the Billboard Music Awards, this brand new Michael Jackson number stole the show. Technical wizards who created it say it's not a hologram, but a virtual human being, a 3D avatar of the King of Pop, performing alongside real dancers.
Holograms are no stranger to the stage. Rapper Tupac Shakur rhyming his way into Coachella, and infinite Beyoncé's running the world on the Billboard Music Awards in 2011.
So how does it work? Well, I can't exactly tell you because I'm a mere projection. Let's let the real David take it away. It's actually a state-of-the-art digital version of an old 19th century magic trick. This digital David isn't real, and I can interact with him, or I can even make him disappear. Could you, in theory, bring anybody back from the dead with this technology?
Absolutely.
It's very important to understand the context in which Jesus delivers this particular parable to us as Christians. In chapter 17, verses 20 through 37, Jesus is speaking to his disciples about what would be the moral and the social and the spiritual condition of the world in the last days, the days that would immediately precede his second coming, and he is coming again. And the moral and the spiritual and social climate of the world. And he tells us that the social and the moral condition of the world in what the Bible calls the last days will be as it was in the time of Noah. The time of Noah was a time of where the whole world, the Bible tells us, was just filled with wickedness. The world is filled with wickedness today. It was a time of widespread sexual immorality. There was a time of widespread unnatural sexual practices. It was a time when God's standard of right and wrong had been almost wiped out, had been completely turned upon its head, until what God called evil was now being called good, and what God called good was now being called evil. That was the time of Noah, and Jesus said that that would mark the last days of the world that we live in immediately before his return. Jesus further stated in that passage that the social and the moral condition of the world would be like it was at the time of Lot. That was a time when the sin of homosexuality had become widespread in practice and had become commonly viewed as acceptable behavior. You reject God, and then you do more than that. you take his definitions and you say, not only do I spit on those definitions, but we're going to indoctrinate a whole country and a whole world to believe that the very opposite of what you say is true. Well, you're going to pay the piper for that. And it's going to end up in a very degraded society, and you end up with a world that is unraveling. When Paul spoke about in the last days the world would be perilous times, he talks about fierce times. He said in the last days these things are going to occur, and the world is going to respond to this unraveling of things with a collective yawn. All they're going to be thinking about, their thoughts completely set on their next meal and the next wedding they're going to attend. That is the next special event in their life, the next business deal, the next material thing that they're going to buy, and living as if God isn't watching all of this, and as if we're not going to answer to him one day. And everything I read about what the Bible has to say about the last days, it is in front of my eyes in spades every day. What God said would mark the last days immediately before the rapture of the church and then ultimately Jesus' second coming, it is all there, fully fulfilled before our eyes. And the Bible speaks of the fact that when things are going to get so difficult in the world, that the news of the rapture of the church, that Jesus is going to come back and he's going to remove us before he pours out his judgment upon this world, that it is going to be the only hope.